one of the best parts about being an online coach is that you literally create your own schedule and you take meetings when you want to take them. And the rest of your day, you can do whatever you got to do, whether it's marketing, whether it's content, whether it's going to the gym, whether it's hanging out with family. Like, you literally create your life. You are your own boss. So I'm here at the gym right now, and most of the time I come here and it's like 11 a.m. or noon, and like there's nobody here, you know, as opposed to after 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, once everybody gets out of work and this place is packed. That's one of the privileges that you have when you create your schedule, when you are able to work when you want to work. And obviously in entrepreneurship, right, like we work hard, especially when you're first starting. Like, I mean, my first 3 months of coaching has been just grinding. When I say grinding, I mean like I'm constantly in the DMs messaging potential clients. I am taking sales calls. I'm, you know, on a coaching call with one of my clients. I am creating content like this, whether on YouTube or short form. So you gotta love work. Like, I'll say that. Like, as an entrepreneur, like, you gotta love work. You gotta love serving people. You gotta love doing this. But it's just like, you just gotta be driven. Like, you can't be a person that just like wants to live a regular life and just want to, I don't know, do something that's not meaningful to you. Like, if you're gonna be an entrepreneur, like, know that it's gonna be amazing, it's gonna be fun, and it's also gonna be challenging. It's also gonna be an ability or a freedom for you to just let loose your creativity. But it's not easy. It's not easy. You know, you have to set boundaries. You have to, every season is different, right? And I'm really just documenting my journey, right? This is really the start of my journey. I mentioned to some of you guys, you know, in the previous video I've shared that, you know, my first 3 months, I was able to hit 30K in coaching. And yeah, basically it required work. But the thing is, like, as you invest, as you plant seeds, like, the more you harvest and the more it compounds over time, and the easier it actually gets. Once you have client testimonials, once you have you know, results that you've gotten people, and you share that online with your audience, like, yeah, you can't argue with the results that you've gotten somebody. So or the results that you've gotten yourself in your own life, right? That's where it starts, right? With every coach, it starts with you accomplishing the thing yourself and being able to teach and package that in such a way for other people to be able to replicate it in their lives, right? So for me, I started off as a coach that helped people overcome pornography, because that was something I was passionate about. I struggled with it for a very long time, and by God's grace, I haven't fallen back into that, and I've gone through, I mean, years of counseling and coaching to get out of that. And I created my own process with all of the things that helped me, and I created a process that people could join and experience so that they themselves could experience freedom. So it always starts with the transformation that you've experienced, right? Like, a lot of fitness coaches, like, you can't be a fitness coach, an online fitness coach, or even just a fitness coach in a gym if you're not in shape, right? The best fitness coaches, like, the best marketing and advertising is showing that you got a six-pack, that you have the body that somebody else wants, right? Like, that speaks louder than anything else. Really, like, if you just post a picture of yourself and you're, you know, in amazing shape and you're shredded, and you say, hey, I'm taking on clients to get to the same place that I've gotten to, I mean, people will pay you, people will sign up. So again, results that you've received, results that you've gotten for other people is the strongest marketing. So yeah, and that's not to discourage anyone that wants to get into coaching for the first time, because even for me at first, like, I was using a lot of the content and materials from somebody else who was a professional who has done a lot of the work already. So like, for example, for me in my offer previously, I was using Jay Stringer. He's a pastor and a counselor who wrote a really popular book on overcoming pornography addiction, specifically from a Christian worldview. And he basically wrote a book. He created a self-assessment. He created a system for people to overcome, and I used that in conjunction with accountability and group coaching and things that I've used in that helped me in my journey, and created that personalized package for other people to experience freedom. So that's really what it is. I mean, people are paying for the solution, people are paying for the transformation, people are paying for the result. Unfortunately, results are not always guaranteed, because you can bring a horse to water, but you can't force it to drink, right? Like, none of the coaches that I've hired or that I've worked with, like, were there to baby me throughout the process, checking in to make sure I was doing everything. Like, it's like, yo, here are the tools, make it happen. You know what I mean? Like, you have to have a certain level of drive already once you hire a coach, so that you can actually take those tools and apply it. And part of that accountability, to be honest, is accountability that you have towards yourself when you know that you have invested a large amount in yourself and into that solution, right? So previously, the offer that I had was 3 to 6 months, depending on which package you chose, to overcome pornography, or to at least gather the tools that you need and be in the environment that you need in order to overcome. And I charged $2,500 for that. So, you know, I had plenty of people join, and many people did well. Many people are in the healing process, are growing, or are not really struggling with this thing anymore. And then there are other people that aren't putting in the work. They're not joining the meetings. They're not reading the materials, and you know what I mean? Like, you can't really do anything for them, right? Like, a coach is there to journey with you and to hold you accountable, or at least to give you the tools if they're more of an educator, but nobody can do it for you. So even with the different coaching programs I've joined, I never expected somebody to get me the result or hand me the result on a silver platter. I recognize that they've given me the tools. Now it's my job to go and apply it, right? So when we invest a large amount, right, this is why it's called high ticket coaching. You hold yourself accountable to a large degree, right? So, you know, my coach, Myron Golden, for example, he says that it's actually, or I don't know if he said it this way exactly, but this is just something I've learned just through, you know, the different coaches that I've worked with as well. But it's a principle that it's just known in the coaching space, that giving discounts is actually a disservice. And people are like, what do you mean? Like, you're making it less accessible to people. It's like, okay, sure, but when you give a discount, there's less skin in the game, right, for the client. If like, just take this for example, right? There's a story where this big name speaker and big name business consultant hosted a live event. I think it was a couple days long, and to be in that room, I think it was like, I forgot the exact price. I think it was like a couple $1,000s to attend this event. It was a couple days, like 3 to 5 days. The people that showed up and paid that $5,000 or however much it was to attend that mastermind, they showed up, they were there, they had their notepad ready, they were taking notes, they were making the most of the experience because they know that they invested, they know that they put skin in the game, and they actually, you know, were held accountable to a greater degree because they know that they don't want to waste this money, right? So it's not that you're investing in the coach, but you are investing in yourself, and even the price you pay or the investment you make is you holding yourself accountable. So with that same event, there were people in that room that paid somewhere around like $5,000 to be in that room. And then that same speaker, the host of the event, invited family members and allowed them, family or friends, and allowed them to come and attend the event for free. Guess what those people that attended the event for free that didn't have to pay, what do you think they did? At the end of the event, the person, the speaker, the host, asked their family and friends, yo, what did you gain from the event? They couldn't say anything because they weren't paying attention. Because they didn't have skin in the game. They didn't make an investment. They didn't feel the weight of the investment that they made, so they didn't care, right? So something that people like Myron, really any coach teaches, and this is just a real principle. This is what Jesus says, actually. Jesus says, where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. What Myron Golden says, and his rephrasing of that, is the heart follows the pocketbook. So if you look at your bank account and you look at what you're spending money on, that's where your heart is at. So if you've invested a large amount in being free from pornography, if you've invested a large amount in learning business principles and learning how to launch a coaching business, or if you've invested a large amount in whatever it is, whatever solution you're looking for, you know your heart is there. But the moment you expect this thing to be free, or you expect this thing to just come easily, you know that your heart's not really in it. Every single person spends money on something. And when we are hesitant to spend money on the things that are actually good for us, the things that will actually contribute to our growth, our priorities are mixed up. Because that means that you don't value yourself. You don't value your growth. You don't value the skills necessary to acquire more wealth, right? So these are just some of the principles. These are some of the things that you learn as you're in the coaching space. So that's why I'm at a place where I don't offer discounts. Even if you're a friend, even if you're a family member, like I don't offer discounts, because it actually is a disservice to you, because now you won't feel the weight of the investment, and therefore you will hold yourself less accountable to going after that outcome. If there's not a major sacrifice or not a major thing to lose, you're not going to go after it like you have something to lose. So these are just a couple of principles. Obviously there's so much more that could be talked about, and as time goes on, I'm going to keep sharing more and more. I mean, again, being transparent with y'all, like, I'm not an expert, but I've learned a lot since I've been here doing this, and, you know, I've invested a large amount in coaching. So, like, you know, I have mentors that have been doing this. Like, the knowledge that I'm sharing with you is knowledge that people spend $25,000, $55,000 a year in order to be coached by these people. So, yeah, man, you could take it or you could leave it. This is just the game, man. This is what we're doing, and I just know, again, that there are so many people out there that have gifts, that have experiences and expertises that you can monetize. And it doesn't have to feel dirty. It doesn't have to feel like you're taking advantage of people. Because the truth is, like, you can't even use those gifts because you don't have the time, because you're working another job where those gifts aren't being used, or they're being hindered, or they're not being expressed fully. So the price of doing this full time and helping people full time is you charging. And if people see the value in that, and people desire to invest in themselves, again, it's not in you, it's them investing in themselves through you, then dude, that's awesome. But there are many people out there that are looking for the thing that you can offer, and they just don't know where to find it. Like, most people that I've talked to, even when I was, you know, really focused on helping people overcome pornography, people are like, dude, I've never heard of coaching. Like, I've never knew that this thing existed. So that tells me that there's a gap. For those that are in the field, sometimes there's this illusion that it's like oversaturated, that there are too many people, you know, doing coaching, like it's too much. But to the wider world, to be honest, most people have no idea that there are coaches out here providing solutions to the real major issues that you have in your life, or providing acceleration to get you to those major goals that you have in your life. And it's a shame. So part of what I feel called to do is to raise awareness, you know, through these videos, so that more people can know, because I think more people deserve to know, more people deserve to monetize their gifts and actually use their gifts rather than sitting on them, right? There's a parable in the Bible where it talks about talents that are given to these different servants, and there's one servant that doesn't use his gift, doesn't use his talent, he just buries it in the ground. And there are other ones that actually multiply the talents. They were given 5 and they got 5 more, they got 2 and they got 2 more. So coaching is a space for you to actually use your gifts to help other people, right? Like, it's so sad that there's so many, like, there's a narrative or just a lack of awareness and a belief that, like, the only ways that I can help people and serve people are, you know, being a clergy in a church, being a pastor, or being a preacher, or being a nurse, or being a doctor, or being, you know, a lawyer. Like, ever since the internet has come, dude, it's limitless. It really is limitless. Like, there are people out here, you know, making millions of dollars creating content on Instagram or YouTube. And a lot of it is nonsense. A lot of it is just like, dude, why is this person making money off this? Like, you have other people on websites that are exposing their body and putting themselves through just horrendous things to make a buck. So why not also use this internet space to help people and also to make a living off of it, right? For me, it's just like, why are we just allowing just evil and just, you know, bad things to be perpetuated and spread throughout the world through the internet, and then we ourselves, those who actually want to make an impact, a positive impact, we're here on the sidelines just settling for, I don't know, just a job that doesn't even matter, that makes no impact, it's just meaningless, it's empty, it's just a check, right? Like, if you calculate the amount of hours and days and years that you spend working, it's more than the time that you have off. So you might as well use the time, the short time that you have in this world, to actually make an impact and to make a living off of it, right? If you're gonna work, you might as well work making an impact in the world and helping people. So that's all I wanted to share. More to come. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you guys think. Peace.